Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Everquest Old School. And as you can see in this, we're right over in East Commons at the work camp. This is work camp number 1, and we have a small group going here. We just got a cleric, so our group's really coming together. Let's see how close we are to level 8. One bubble. Because the reason he's asking is probably because he has a higher level person who wants to join. And if I'm too low, I won't get any experience. But San is lower than I am, so... Let's see, Legionnaire. Now we have Nubs over here still, and he's pulling to us. As I said before many times, it's really nice. These people are just doing this out of the kindness of their heart. They're not getting anything out of this other than maybe a faction hit if that's what they're looking for. But in this case, Nubs here is giving me a ring, which I'll show you guys again. And he's given Trin here an entire set of armor he had on one of his alts that he wasn't really using. So really nice of this guy to do. I want to give this guy another shout out. If you see this guy, maybe, you know, throw a soul or a clarity on him, give him a free teleport, let him know that you saw what he did and you thought it was really nice. Because there's really no way to thank these people for just coming out and helping people. They don't even know who we are. They've never met us before. So literally just helping out whoever happens to be nearby, which makes this whole game worth playing. The community is really one of the reasons I play games like this, MMOs, so that you can meet new people, sometimes really nice people, sometimes really mean people, but you get to learn about different cultures from the actual people, not just from what you hear or read about, you know. Let's toss this on this Shadow Wolf and kill him off real quick. And that should do it. Now you see, I don't actually have a pet up right now, and that's because it's kind of an unforgivable mistake, but I actually ran out of bone chips. But the group is going so well, they actually don't want me to leave. Let's see what, yeah, he has some buffs, but running low on mana. Untweaked wisdom, not awesome. So they don't want me to leave because I'm still doing lots of DPS with my spells. I just don't have that tank pet basically to help out, do even more damage, which sucks because we had a run of bad luck earlier where literally my pet kept dying. It was just because we have Nubs pooling, we don't really have a real tank, so we weren't doing too hot there for a while. We were trying to figure it out and learn how to do it because nobody here can taunt, so we were running into that issue. And I went through like, I don't know, 6 or 7 pets in the matter of 2 or 3 minutes, and it just ate through all my bone chips. I'm guessing he's using, or he's working on his skill on Viz, because he keeps disappearing like that when the fight's over. Let me ask him. Chances are he won't have any, but it's good to check. Let's see, Cloak of Shadows. I don't know why my mouse is stuck looking like that. And we got another lioness. Give it a second so it can build up some aggro on him. Too soon. Sucking some life off of it. I hate to use my cleric's power. Cloth veil. Oh, maybe he clicked the wrong button to link everything that was in there. Now I'm just going to be quiet for a little bit, let you guys enjoy watching the game the way it used to be. For those of you who haven't played in a while, you remember this very fondly, so I'll let you guys just watch and listen. And as you can see, I'm blind. Don't think that there's something wrong with the screen. There's not. It's just they cast a spell on you can't see. And this is one of the main reasons in later groups that you want to have your spells down here on your hotbar so that you can still heal and do things of that sort. Because if you know your way around the buttons, you can use your F1, F2 keys to select the people in your group. Your keys down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down to 9 and 0 to cast your spells. And if you're already targeting somebody, then you can use, say, your assist button, or you can click, you know, F2 to select the second person in your group. Then use your assist button. You'll automatically assist whatever they're attacking, and then you can cast your spells. So even if you can't even see what's going on, you can still participate. You're not obviously as good as you could be, because if the creature runs away, you're still going to be standing there basically doing nothing. And you won't even know that you're too far away to cast your spells. So that part sucks, but you can still be very useful to the group if you set all that stuff up ahead of time. I haven't really gotten to that in this character. These are all just kind of thrown together in whatever order I feel like doing it for right now. I will have to go back eventually and change those up so that they are right where I want them to be. This guy's yellow. If I take him on, I'll probably die. Well, I got this guy with me. We'll try it. It's probably going to be a bad mistake. I had my pet, it'd probably be another story. I wouldn't be too concerned. But I don't have my pet with me. It leaves me very, very vulnerable. Let's see, yeah, the dots are still on him. The cleric finished him off. And I still have my damage shield on for a few more seconds anyways. Come back over here and sit next to my cleric. Now the reason you want to sit close to somebody is mainly so that if a creature comes wandering by, which they often do as you've seen so many times here, that you're in front of somebody so they know, one, that you're getting attacked, two, they don't have to run very far. And the cleric really is never supposed to move. When he sits down against the wall or in a corner or something along those lines, you want to make sure that you're within range of him healing. He needs to be able to just stand up, cast his spell, and sit back down to start medding again. So you don't ever want to make him have to run or leave the room to cast a heal. He will occasionally if you get into trouble in a pool or something like that, but you know, preferably don't ever make him move, because every time he's moving around, that's one more second or one more minute that he's not medding. And his mana really determines the pace of the group. The more power he has, the faster he gets it back, the faster the group can continue to pull. Also, if you have a great tank, he'll heal less, and then therefore his power will mean a lot less than that too. So. I don't know why I'm getting so much lag here. I'm getting quite a bit of lag here. Let's see how close we are. Man, just one more. Half a bubble, a little bit more than half a bubble. And we'll have our new level spells. We'll also get a new pet at this level. Of course, we don't have any bone chips to use, but at least the other ones will do more damage. The downside to doing that is, even though they do more damage, they will cost more power to cast. So for the very first few levels that you turn, like at level 8, it's going to use a lot more power than, say, at level 10, because every level I get more, you know, power in my mana pool to use. So great spells, but it's going to really limit how many spells I'll be able to cast. So in the end, you may find it better to use some of the lower level spells rather than the newer ones, simply because you can cast them more often. This is very rarely the case, though, because the newer spells, even though taking more power, will do so much more damage that it's just usually better to use those, unless you're worried about aggro. If you keep stealing aggro, you can use some of the lower level ones, so they don't do as much damage as quickly, and therefore you build up less aggro over time. I'll finish that one off before I attack this other one, otherwise I'll just steal it away from him. It's not like he's taunted it. If you're a Shadow Knight or something like that, it's a good idea to switch targets if you don't have an enchanter. Make sure you taunt each one of the creatures a couple at a time. Later on, people will have area effect spells and things of that sort, and if you haven't taunted the creature at least once or twice, the first time he gets hit, he's going to go running off towards whoever happens to be attacking him, whether it's the enchanter, or the Necro, or the mage. You know, they're going to get hit. Usually they won't be able to survive very long. There we go, he got aggro back. So he was talking about he's worried about not getting any heals, and the other guy's saying, yeah, I'll heal you, but I don't heal very often. Not quite sure why that's the case. Take this thing out as fast as possible. I don't know if he was low on power or what was going on there. Griffin. I don't see any Griffin. It's definitely a slower group now that Nubs is AFK for a few minutes. But we're still making a little bit. Let's see. What level is this guy? Yellow. He could possibly join us. So I'm sending him a tell just to ask, see if he has any bone chips. I hate asking in a group, but, you know, if we're here, there's no reason not to. If he doesn't have it, I'm not going to get mad. And I don't think he's going to get mad that I asked, so... And I want my level 8 spells so bad. And that was a yellow kill. Got pretty good experience off of it. It's just one kill. It's the difference between other games. You know, you kill creatures over and over and over again in other games and level so quickly, and yet it doesn't really feel like you're getting that much off of the kills. It actually feels like you're getting so much more off of the quests that you do. Where in this game, you're not really doing any quests. You're just killing. You're grinding, basically, is what they refer to as just sitting there doing the same thing over and over again. And it may sound boring when they phrase it that way, but in reality, you're learning your class as you play it that way. You're also having a good time figuring things out. You're having a good time meeting new people. And so grinding to me is actually one of the most enjoyable parts of the game. I know a lot of people hate that, to go out. And I can see their point of view. Grinding by yourself, completely and totally horrible. I hate doing that. It kind of ruins the game if I have to go grind by myself. But if I can grind with other people, it completely changes it to where it's something so enjoyable that it makes the game worthwhile, you know? And so, unfortunately, in other games, I just see the soloing part and how people complain, and you know, I used to be that way as well. Nubs will be back any minute. But yeah, I used to be that way as well, you know, complaining that why does it take me 20, 30 an hour, you know, minutes to find a group You know, that's all that time I'm wasting when I could be playing. It's not like I have all that time in the world to sit there and look. Now that I've experienced the alternative, you know, my choice would be to go back because it's just not worth it. You know, in these other games, you know, I don't find it as enjoyable as some people do. And so I guess we're still waiting for him to get back from AFK. Wow, that's a cool weapon. Man, these lionesses are crazy. Every 3 or 4 seconds you get another one. He's blue, but yeah, he probably could join us. See if I can spell his name. Great, got another line. I tell you, man, these things are just ridiculous. You can see it's a yellow kill. Unfortunately, I'm all out of power. There we go, Nubs is back. Now this is where it's really going to get fun. We're going to level up really quickly here. And I'll leave this on over in the corner so that you can see just how much experience I get per kill. I didn't want to loot, just checking to see what he was conning. You see they were discussing the loot rules down here. He's just taking a belt every so often. So it's just casual. People loot when they want. And as long as nobody's being too greedy, you know, and so far in this game I haven't found anybody who has been. I'll go occasionally and clean up all the mess when people let it sit there for too long just because it gets in the way of me clicking on things or, you know, clutters up the screen. I don't really enjoy seeing all those dead bodies everywhere. You got the Lego. This is actually the placeholder. The guy inside the tent is actually the placeholder for the name. We killed him a few times already. He has never dropped anything, so I don't know if he has just a super rare loot table where he actually drops something good, or if he just doesn't have any loot table at all, and that's why we've never seen anything on him. Got another member here. It's the guy who was asking to join earlier. Every little bit helps. Dead. Nice. One more kill, guys. One more kill, and I'll get the little ding. I have no power left. There we go. Ding! I love that noise. Well, if he's working on his pelts, I'll go ahead and give him some. I don't know, when I said welcome to them all because I don't use them, it kind of sounded a little conceited just because I don't need them. And that's not what I was trying to say. I was just trying to say you're welcome for having them. I'm not working on my trade skills at the moment. Okay, so now that it's safe and the camp's been cleared, I'm going to go ahead and mem my new spells. Let's go to a clean page. And here we go. EQ live does not, since I can get drops to that hours. Let's see. I'm mimming a lot faster. Gathered shadows. That's actually my Invis. Vampiric Embrace. That's a level 12 one. I don't know why I got that one early. Unfortunately, we can't use our pet yet. So let's see what we want to put on. We get rid of our old shielding one. Mend Bones is actually a really nice one. Unfortunately, we're losing somebody here. Let's see, where do we want to put that? I'll put it right here next to our other one. I want to put my gate back on. Simply because there are some instances where you get into trouble, your pet can tank it, but you know you're going to lose the fight, you're able to gate out of there before it gets too serious. Vampiric Embrace. Let's actually put on our lesser shielding and see what that does. We got a mage here who has a damage shield on. It's pretty nice. Oh, that must be Nubs, probably. Let's go ahead and put on Mend Bones. Even though we don't have a pet. Oh, we already have that on for... Sorry, we forgot about that. Shadow Step, I believe, will let you step like 5 or 6 feet to the left or the right or something silly like that. Oh, great, somebody died. Oh man, this guy hurts. And he's resisting everything I have. No! Oh, I might survive. Holy crap. Come on, heal me. So these guys are now even to me. So I'm guessing everybody here is around level 8. No, stop, stop, stop. And I'm talking about the Centurions. They're, well, some of them are still yellow. Okay, we have a minute here. I can go ahead and put my spells on that I want. Let's see. Dark Empathy. I wonder what that one does. I'll have to get the list. Oh, we got the Lord Shin guy. Put this down real quick because we're all about to die here. Okay, he killed them for us. Spell only works on the undead. Man, nearly killed myself there. Wow, that was really nice. Let's send him a tell real quick. Let's check out, see what he gave us. This is a really cool night, guys. People just running by, giving us stuff. Great. Go ahead and heal up. Okay, so let's check this out real quick. It's taking up half of our screen. This is our old staff. As you can see, it's pretty sucky. This new staff, 5 mana, 5 HP, so yeah, it's definitely better than what I'm wearing. Why don't we put it on? Warrior, Cleric, Paladin, Shadow Knight, Shaman, Necro. Race all. Oh, because it's a two-handed, right? No, it's still one-handed. No, it is two-handed. Let's take this off. There we go. So it didn't do it automatically. Healing myself. very chaotic group to try to do something, try to figure stuff out. Okay, let's close those down. Take a look at my helmet. AC2. And you got AC10, which means I'll get hit a lot less hard. And plus 3 stamina. Stamina actually increases your health. Not exactly a skill that I have to have, but you know, it's kind of nice. Unfortunately, I can't use that one because it's a Necro. Is not on there. But I can use the belt, and I don't think even I have a belt on right now at all, so let's go ahead and drag that on. 10 AC, so that's nice. And we'll have to give the helmet away to somebody else. So if you happen to be watching this video and you can use that helmet within the next few days, because I probably won't hang on to it too long before I find somebody who can use it, you know, go ahead and send me a tell, and I'll be happy to give it to you. If I still have it, unfortunately. You know, by the time you get to me, I may not, so just keep that in mind. Don't get too disappointed. That was weird. I had no health on my screen. So tonight, just to recap, I got a new belt, new earring, a new weapon, and a new hat that I can't wear, unfortunately. And we got a new level spell, so it's been a very, very, very good night. A ghetto res incoming. Optimal. Bring out your dead. Well, he's red to me, so he's probably level 29, I believe, is when they get their first res. Maybe 19, I can't remember. But you definitely look forward to it. I mean, you've been waiting for that res for a long, long time. 100 platinum. It's not too bad for like a cleric or something. And you can see that it just never stops. There's always more stuff that people are selling. This is the place you want to come if you're looking to buy or sell. I mean, it's just, this is what the zone is made for, basically. And it wasn't even made for it, I shouldn't say that. Because when the programmers came up with the zone, it's not like they set signposts saying this is where you need to come to sell. It's actually the players who decided that this is the zone that they travel through the most often, that most people travel through the most often, I should say. And so, on a regular basis, you have more people coming through this zone than any of the other zones in the game. And so somebody decided that this would be a good spot to set up camp and start selling stuff. Other people saw that it worked really well, they caught on, and they started doing the same thing, and before long, it just became the standard. I don't know if it's like that on every server, but every server I've ever played it on, this is the way it is. Ooh, somebody asked, that's kind of nice that he went out of his way to find the other guy a res. It's because he's over encumbered. I need to dip out for a bit to help a friend. I will log right here. Should be back in about 15 minutes if you still have a spot. Now, res effect, for those of you who haven't gotten a res yet, is basically just a buff, but it's not a buff that you would want to keep on. It's actually something that takes pretty much all your stats down to, I don't remember what it was. It's ridiculous, though. It's pretty small, like 15 or something. So you have full life and full power for a few seconds simply because you have no power and no life to speak of. Get this shadow wolf off of her so she can log. There she goes. She had like 5 seconds left to go before she was logged out and she got hit. And I'll talk about that after I talk about the res effect, but it lowers all your stats down, and basically as the spell wears off, as the effect wears off, your stats will go back to normal. Basically, it's there so that you don't You can't just get a res and boom, you're right back into combat. It slows things down a bit. You have to wait, med up, you know, normalize, and then you can go off again. So there is a downside to dying. If you die and you come back and you don't get that res, your life is full, your health is full, and your stats are all perfectly normal. So if you do that in a raid and you happen to be behind close by to that raid, sometimes instead of resing you, if you're an important class like a cleric and they don't want to wait for your power to come back, sometimes I would just leave an item on there, on my corpse, and then at the end of the night, after all my bodies were counted up, I'd go back and res every single one of them, or have somebody res them for me, so that, because every time I res myself, I'd be out of mana, and then I'd have to wait for my power to go back and then res myself again. Let me see how much. See if he has too much copper on him. As you can see, I got close to 400 on me, and that weighs you down quite a bit. Later on in the game, you'll just simply drop the copper on the floor or destroy it. It's not worth your time. So he still has a res buff on him. Should have gone away by now. I mean, it doesn't last too terribly long. It's not meant to be crippling. Great, another lioness. Let's loot these bodies, get them out of the way. Put my new pet on, Bone Walk, take the old one off. Now, as I was saying, with camping, it's something you're going to have to get accustomed to. I remember in, I believe it was the Plane of Fear, when you did a raid in that zone, because it was so difficult at the time, everybody would run in at one time. They would zone in through this big giant portal, and you would run through the zone straight ahead to the wall. Because there's so many roamers, there's really nowhere to pull to. Like, the gate is right in the middle of the zone, and if you pull to the gate, you're just going to get overwhelmed so quickly with all these stupid roamers that are roaming around. So if you run a mad dash to the gate and then camp out, that clears your list, kind of like if you zoned. And so what you would want to do is have all the tanks running first. They'd get the aggro, with the clerics literally on the heels of them right behind. Let me cure this real quick. So he stunned me, which is why I'm spinning. But you'd be right there on the heels of the tank, and so would everybody else. The people who had aggro would run off to the side, while the people who didn't have aggro would sit down and camp, and you would take 30 seconds to camp, literally a whole 30 seconds. And if you were hit in that amount of time, it would cancel out your camping, and you wouldn't camp in time, and you would die. But the whole point is, as long as one cleric was able to camp out, everybody could die in that spot, and that spot was perfectly safe. There was no roamers, no nothing. You could be perfectly fine there. So everybody would wipe out, except for one or two clerics if you were lucky. Wait a few seconds or a few minutes. You would send in like a rogue or something, somebody who happened to, or even a monk or something who happened to fatigue death in that spot. Load up on a different character and then ask if it was safe to load in. You would load in on your cleric again and res everybody back up. So camping does somewhat play a role in the game with that 30 seconds. If it wasn't for 30 seconds camping, you could do it instantly. People would do that technique everywhere, and it would kind of take away from the overall enjoyment of the game. The difficulty of the zone is sometimes one of the best aspects. It's sometimes the worst and the best put together, because it stops a lot of people from being able to go to those zones and hunt in those zones, and unfortunately they can't experience those, which does suck. But it does make it harder for those people who can go to those zones. They find it more challenging. There's nothing worse in some of these games where you get to the end content, you know, your maxed out level, whatever the case may be, and there's nothing left for you to do. Nothing's challenging. You've gotten the best armor in the game. and you can pretty much just walk through these zones that used to give you a hard time without even thinking about it. Some of the most enjoyable times I ever had were in zones that were just so difficult. At the time, they made it very unenjoyable. But looking back on it, I see that those zones were really made for the in-game people, and I was going there too early, which is why it was kind of unenjoyable for me, and I wasn't able to appreciate it, because you don't want to basically have nothing for these people who have spent so much time playing the game to do. I mean, they're your hardcore fans. You want them to be able to do something. And later on, in like Everquest 2, they went a little bit overboard from what I saw. It was most of the game was made for the in-game people, and that really took away from the enjoyment of being able to level up. It really just became get as much experience as fast as possible to level up so that you can become max level so that you could actually do something. And this is not one of those things. I mean, there's so many places like this. Look how much time I'm spending in this zone. You know, it's something I'm going to remember spending time here because I did the first time. And then when I go to the next area, I'll be there for quite a long time. I'll get to know the entire area. Like, I know this entire zone, you know, front and back, because of just how long I've been here. In other games, I go through zones in like I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. I can go through the entire zone, do all the quests in that zone, and be out of that zone. And even though I know that zone fairly well because I've killed all the creatures in it, I'm not an expert on it. I don't know the pathing. Like on this one, you can see that sometimes the pathing of these creatures is kind of weird in certain areas. You can take advantage of it, or it may be something you want to stay away from because it can cause really, really big headaches when they're running into the wrong area and aggroing, you know, too many creatures at once. But that's something you learn as you're in the area for long periods of time. And of course, you guys are all welcome to your own opinions. I'm trying not to put down other games. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I prefer this type of gameplay over the others. I'm not saying they don't have their place, you know, in the MMO world, because they do. Everybody enjoys different things. And on the days where you may not have 2, 3, 4 hours to spend playing a game, those games can still be kind of enjoyable to log on real quick, play for a little bit, and then log off and feel like you actually did something. Whereas if you only have 20, 30 minutes in a game like this, you're not going to really get very much done. Because there are, at higher levels, there's fights that take longer than that, just for one guy. So the fact that you have to find a group, put a group together, work your way down to a room, and then start to actually sit there and fight the creatures in that room, you know, you're going to need at least a few hours for good, decent, you know, gameplay. And the names in these zones, oh, hold on a second. Nah, that's that no drop thing. The names sometimes take, you know, on average, I would say most of them around 20 to 30 minutes for some of the higher end names to repop. And so what you'll find is if you have a really good group, you'll camp 2, 3, 4 names at the same time. If you're lucky enough to have them within the same area, the same distance that you can actually run to and pull. And one of the zones I'm thinking of is Lower Guck. Lower Guck had this one side, I think it was the undead side, because there was a living side and the undead side in that game. But on the undead side, you go all the way down to the very bottom, and you had like the Yusky and the FBSS that would drop off of 2 different guys, and you basically within, I don't know, say 100 feet, you had like 4 names that spawned. And if you went up a level, you had like another 2 up there. And I remember that zone used to be camped so much that every single one of the names would have a group sitting there. But sometimes, if you logged on real late, you could have one group camping the entire bottom. So you'd have 4 names to pull from, plus all the other ads that people want the experience for and things of that sort. Oh, I guess Nubs is leaving. Hold on. Let's see, who's this? Oh, he's green to me. go ahead and add him to a friends list. Because you can never have too many friends in this game. Oh, crap. Kill this before it kills him. There we go. At least it's not attacking him anymore. I am completely out of power. Okay, well, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode here, guys. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe, leave comments below, or as always, you're welcome to log on in the game and hit me up. Be happy to group with you guys anytime, as long as I'm not shooting a video at the moment or something like that. So again, thanks for watching.